This type of stickiness didn't discriminate between people. The strongest Fu Wenduo and the weakest Li Miao Miao and Zhao Ziafei all couldn't move. Tang Mo removed the small parasol from his waist and gently touched it against the ground. His movements were very natural and no one noticed. Once the tip of the umbrella touched the ground, Tang Mo quietly pulled it up. Sure enough, it couldn't be moved. Any item that entered this room would be stuck to the ground of the room. The 5 people tried many methods before giving up on leaving the room. The second hand moved on the truth clock. The huge clock had no eyes, but everyone felt like they were being watched by something. The steady female voice said, 5 Black Tower intruders, do you choose to become the truth or defeat the truth? Zhao Ziafei asked, what is the truth clock? The truth clock said, I am the great truth clock. I am the only truth clock in the Black Tower world and the whole universe. I was made by the great Lord Schrödinger and was born in Schrödinger's time seemed to serve the Black Tower. Every word that I say is true. Truth is within the realm of known scientific theory. All things that can't be refuted fall within its scope. Truth exists precisely and is absolutely correct. Li Miao Miao opened her mouth. What do you mean? Are you trying to kill us? The truth clock hadn't appeared when Tang Mo opened the door. The next second, it stopped time and pulled all players into the world of the truth clock. Its strength was incalculable. If it really wanted to kill them, then it could just do it. There was no need to lock them in this room. This showed that the truth clock didn't want to kill them. There was another purpose. The truth clock rejects all fallacies and only erases fallacies. Li Miao Miao gave a sigh of relief. Then what the H.E.L.L are you trying to do? The eyes of the truth clock swept over every player present. Its gaze was cold and without any emotions. It spoke in a calm voice without any fluctuations. Every item that enters the world of the truth clock must choose to either be the truth or defeat the truth. 5 Black Tower intruders, you aren't fallacies but you also aren't the truth. Next, everyone needs to ask one question. It is up to me to judge if the question you ask is the truth. The cold female voice continued, every question you ask, the great truth clock will give an answer. If the question you ask can't be answered, then it is the new truth. You have become the truth. Grecius smiled, then you will give an answer. The truth clock replied, if the answer I give is correct, it means the question is meaningless and you haven't become the truth. If it is wrong, you have defeated the truth. Become the truth or defeat the truth. Black Tower intruders, you only have these 2 paths. The great truth clock knows all the truths in the universe. It is only by going beyond the truth clock that you can leave the world of the truth clock. Truth clock, follow all truths. Then Black Tower intruders, ask a question. You have 10 minutes of question time. The next second, the hour and minute hands started to frantically rotate and the 3 hands soon pointed to the number 12 position. There was a sharp shoot and the long second hand moved 1 square clockwise. All the players were defenseless and the countdown had begun. The group looked at the huge clock with astonishment. Tang Mo quietly observed the truth clock. He once stood on the clock for hours and went through a battle of life and death. The clock was indeed the truth clock. Both the size and color were exactly the same as the truth clock he had seen. It took truth as the norm and acted according to truth. There was no doubt that if the 5 players failed to ask a proper question at the end of the 10 minutes, the truth clock would surely do something terrible. Tang Mo didn't know the strength of this truth clock. But in this world, it was the absolute law. Its power overrode all forces. Tang Mo and Fu Wenduo combined weren't its opponents. Zhao Ziafei muttered, how can it start already? What questions should we ask? The smooth female voice was suddenly heard. You can ask any question, from the birth of the universe to the destruction of the universe. All types of problems can be used to ask the truth clock. Zhao Ziafei's eyes were dumbfounded and her body trembled as she looked at the blue clock suspended in the air. Her eyes flashed with anger as she subconsciously yelled, I didn't ask a question, how can you? Zhao Ziafei's voice stopped as she realized. She immediately covered her mouth and didn't dare speak. Every player could only ask one question. Zhao Ziafei had asked a question and received an answer. No one knew what would happen if the same player asked a second question and Zhao Ziafei was afraid to try it. After Zhao Ziafei's incident, the expressions of the players sank and they didn't dare open their mouths. In the unlikely event that their words were identified as a question by the truth clock, it would be a waste of an opportunity. Tang Mo tightly gripped the handle of the small parasol. Then he stared at Li Miao Miao and made a signal. Li Miao Miao had long had an idea and opened her mouth. My question is, how can we find Schrödinger? This question arose after Tang Mo heard the truth clock saying that it would give the right answer to any question. If the truth clock didn't answer this question, then they would win. If the truth clock answered, it must say the correct answer and the players would still win. As long as the truth clock gave the right answer, they could get away to clear the tower attack game and absolutely wouldn't suffer. The truth clock didn't hesitate to speak. The answer is that there is only one way to find Schrödinger. Schrödinger's steel fortress has a total of 108 rooms, as long as the player, beep please all players strive to attack the tower, and then, beep please all players strive to attack the tower, and finally, beep please all players strive to attack the tower, you can find Schrödinger. This is the right answer to find Schrödinger. Every player was carefully waiting to hear the answer from the truth clock. The air froze the moment they heard the beeps. Ding dong. The Black Tower has tested it and the answer is correct. The Black Tower game follows the principle of fairness and justice. All answers beyond the current range allowed to the players will be blocked by the Black Tower. Announcing the 3 iron-clad rules of the Black Tower, all players, please attack the tower. Everyone, all players, Please attack the tower. Tang Mo hadn't expected that the Black Tower would be stinky enough to directly interfere with the Truth Clock's answer, S.H.I plus elding the Truth Clock's words. If the Black Tower had the ability to block the Truth Clock, then it should have told the players in advance. Why wasn't this added as a rule before the players asked a question? There was no need to wonder. The Black Tower didn't care and deliberately directed the players to waste a question. It was Tang Mo's ill-conceived idea. He hadn't expected that the Black Tower could play this hand. Tang Mo gritted his teeth and cursed the Black Tower and Truth Clock in his herd. Finally, he started cursing the Black Tower again. The Black Tower was more brazen than the Truth Clock. After this, only Tang Mo, Fu Wenduo, and Grisha hadn't asked the Truth Clock a question. There were two questions on Tang Mo's mind and he pondered which one to ask. His eyes met Fu Wenduo's and Tang Mo became stunned. He understood the other person's meaning. Then he looked at the Truth Clock. My question is, the black of the Truth Clock. What exactly is it? Li Miao Miao glanced over at Tang Mo with surprise. She was a core member of Tianxian and knew the information of the invisible people, as well as the relations H.I plus P between the back of the Truth Clock and the time leaderboard. Yet she hadn't expected Tang Mo to ask this question. Tang Mo considered it for a long time before asking this question. First of all, he wanted to ensure that the question he asked was valuable and that asking it wouldn't waste an opportunity. Second, he wanted to make sure that the answer wasn't blocked by the Black Tower. After Li Chaochang was caught by Tang Mo, he told them about the origin of the time leaderboard. The Black Tower allowed Li Chaochang to give this information. In all likelihood, it would also allow the Truth Clock to reveal the information about its back. The invisible people were clearly surviving humans and their information could be asked about. There was a great probability that it would be S.H.I plus L'd by the Black Tower. It was because the Black Tower followed the principle of fairness. Obtaining information about the other person in this way was unfair to the invisible people. Tang Mo could only hope to ask about something else to get information on the time leaderboard. The voice of the Truth Clock was heard. The back of the Truth Clock is the fallacy compa.s.s. Every word that the fallacy compa.s.s says is a lie. The fallacy compa.s.s rejects all truths, rejecting the permanent constant development of time and s.p.a.ce, rejecting the birth and destruction of the universe. The fallacy compa.s.s takes the destruction of the universe as the starting point and the birth of the universe as the end point. It is a counterclockwise search for fallacies beyond the truth. Then the Truth Clock suddenly added, I hate the fallacy compa.s.s. Tang Mo looked at the Truth Clock with a stunned expression. Now only Fu Wenduo and Grisha hadn't asked a question. Grisha smiled at Fu Wenduo. My lady, please. Fu Wenduo, who wasn't as tall as Grisha, looked back casually. You go first. Grisha tried to be humble a few more times but the lady Fu Wenduo didn't appreciate it. Grisha shrugged helplessly and turned to the Truth Clock. Great Truth Clock, there is a question I have hidden in my heart for a long time and never said to others. After seeing the Great Truth Clock today, I feel that my dream might finally be answered. Thank you, I truly respect the Truth Clock. The Truth Clock didn't expect the players to praise it first and it gave a rare free sentence. You're welcome. Black Tower intruder, ask you question. The Great Truth Clock knows all the answers. Then I'll ask. Grisha took a deep breath and his eyes were sincere. Great Truth Clock, I want to know, how can I make a lot of money? Tang Mo, Fu Wenduo, Li Miao Miao, Zhao Ziafei, Truth Clock. The Truth Clock didn't have a face and couldn't make an expression, but Tang Mo could feel how speechless it was. How to make a lot of money? Make money from your sister. The Truth Clock was silent for a few minutes before giving an answer. Black Tower intruder Grisha Sykes, as long as you want to make money, you can. No one can stop you. Maybe someone can influence you but they can only do limited things. They can't really shake you and they won't waste time trying to stop you. You can still make a lot of money. You already know the way to make money. What you need to do right now is let go of all unnecessary rage and anger. Just do what you have to do and you will succeed. That's how you can. There was a pause. This is the correct answer to your question about how to make a lot of money. The author has something to say. Old Fu, my question is, how can I marry my wife? Truth Clock, hold and kiss, then you can reap a wife. Tang Tang, you aren't afraid to become a decadent clock. Added a KO5 for the people asking for an alternative to Patreon. You can also join my Discord channel to chat with fellow readers about the novels.